Hello guys, my name is Scribs. Today I just kind of want to go through a little bit of maybe wish fulfillment on my part. We've all seen, or most of us at least, have seen the new skill trees that PGI has proposed. And there's been a lot of problems with that skill tree. The costs, which I'm not going to go into much here, but the costs are just freaking ridiculous. There's also the fact that weapons, because there's different weapon skills for different weapons, it feels like it encourages boating. There's 91 points, and most people are just going to use a cookie cutter anyway, and it's not really friendly to new players who don't really know what a lot of the different things are or what's better than what. So I just kind of drafted this up, and I threw it up on the forums, and I'll throw the link in the description of the video. Something more sleek, a little bit easier to understand, something that will allow mechs to still have quirks, although you choose what the quirks are. Just something that I think would work a lot better. Now, a little bit of background on me. I've played off and on World of Warcraft for probably over 10 years. I played it at the end of vanilla, and I've played at least a little bit of every expansion. And I actually didn't like it when World of Warcraft made a change from their old talent system to a talent system that looks like this. I felt it took too much control away from the players. However, I think it would work really well in MechWarrior because we already have a lot of customization. We can already adjust our build. We can, min-max how many heat sinks, how much ammo. Do I want 5 lasers or 6? We have a lot of choice already. So we don't need a whole lot of choice. And to be perfectly honest, they could get rid of the skill system entirely and just you buy the mech and you use the mech, and it would still be just a fine game because of the mech lab. Excuse me. Anyway, into this, as you can see, the tree system is a lot less complex than what you would have in the current proposed system. It's a little bit more complex than what we have now. The idea is you would get 1 point in any of these 3 option tiers, and you'd get 2 points in any of the 5 option tiers, and then you would get bonus points. I'll go into the bonus points a little bit later. The idea is you could pick any point. So the first point that I select, it could be in mobility if I want to focus on speed. It could be in flexibility. It could be in firepower. It could be wherever. But I could only spend 1 point in any of those or 2 points in any of those. So if I put a point in firepower, my next point can't be there because I've filled up my firepower options. I also wanted to give various options for players. I didn't want you to feel locked in. So for firepower, you get the option between fast fire, which basically increases your burst damage. You get faster weapon shooting, or more damage from machine guns and more heat from your flamers. Or you can go cool run, which is more DPS in the long run. More maximum heat, more cooling, and less damage should you overheat. Last, there's aim assist. And aim assist, basically the idea is if you miss, you do no damage. So we want to make it easier for you to hit. Increase projectile velocity, decrease laser duration, probably like 5% increase cooldown on lasers just to balance that out so you're not getting extra DPS out of it. And then lock on time for SSRMs and LRMs, and Gauss charge hold to make it easier for you to hold a Gauss charge. Need some water, excuse me. For mobility, there's speed tweak, which is obvious. There's agility tweak, which gives you acceleration, deceleration, jump distance, and reverse speed. And the jump distance and reverse speed I needed to make enough to be juicy over speed tweak. And dexterity tweak, which will help you climb hills, reduce damage you take when you fall, and make you better while legged. Basically taking the place of hill climb, reduced fall damage, or shock absorbance, I think it is, and speed retention. Sensory, you have target decay, seismic sensor, 360 targeting, advanced zoom, And then the scouting package, because I think that target info gathering and sensor range are kind of the weakest of those. And I like going 2 out of 5 better than 2 out of 6. Just the numbers sound better to me. Defensive, you get a choice between armor, radar deprivation, or internal hardening. Internal hardening would basically, once you're cored, you're still more likely to keep your components. And I wanted it to be strong enough that the loss of the extra armor wasn't super bad. And maybe, you know, an extra 10% or 20% to structure would balance it out better. I'm not claiming that this is the best balanced system. It's just an idea. For utility, capture accelerator, and I really have a problem with this tree is capture accelerator is the only one that's not build specific. If you don't have AMS or ECM, the utility package is useless. If you don't have tag or narc, the spotter package is useless. But at the same time, at least there's something that everybody can pick, and capture accelerator isn't really a game breaker. If you have AMS or you have ECM, then maybe utility package is where you go. And then flexibility to increase your torso twist, torso pitch, your turn speed, your arm movement, or give you improved gyros. Now, this is pretty self-explanatory for the most part, and I mean, it should pretty well present everything, and that's actually good for new users as well, new players. The points spent, you would get a maximum of 8 points. And then there would be bonus points. Bonus points would be applied. I'd have 1 at the end, so when you put your 8th point in, you get a 9th bonus point. And a bonus point can be spent, you see the orange spots, you can double up in a tree. So in mobility here, this particular build gets agility tweak in addition to speed tweak. In flexibility, he got a bonus point early on. I'll explain my idea for how that would work in a bit. So even though he's only put 1 of his leveling points in to flexibility, he's also got a bonus point. So when he puts in his 7th or 8th point, he could put that into flexibility as well, because he's got that opening. Defensive, he has no points, but he put a bonus point in there. Now I envision every mech would get 1 bonus point once they put their 8th point in. And that's just to allow you to kind of choose where you want to specialize. However, right now, you have some mechs that have no quirks. You have some mechs that are, you know, you get like 5% cooling or 5% range. You know, mechs like that would get the 1 bonus point and maybe 1 other if you're at like 5 to 10% quirk on something. Mechs that have like 50% cooldown quirks because their weapons are so, their hardpoints are so terrible. Like the Locust that only has 1 energy hardpoint and has a bunch of ballistics and can barely carry anything, you know, who has to rely on that large laser or large pulse laser in the center torso. That guy's going to get like 8 or 10 bonus points, and he's going to have the majority of the things on here. Maybe some of them aren't going to be particularly useful, like arm movement or spotter package if he doesn't have the appropriate hard points. But the idea would be that he would get a lot of different options. And something that's been suggested in the post I made is to make it so that something like fast fire, you know, you can put a bonus point in fast fire again. And now you get 20% cooldown and 20% machine gun damage. Or you can, you know, double up on cool run. I don't know exactly how well that would work. I mean, obviously, like, seismic sensor, maybe you can increase the range of it. Or target decay, you can increase the time. But radar deprivation, I mean, unless you make it a time reduction, I guess it's possible. It'd be kind of harder to balance. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert in this. I just thought that this was a much sleeker option. Just something I thought I would share with you on YouTube. Even though I have no subscribers yet and no people are watching my videos. Something you might look at. And it might be a moot point by the time anybody gets around to watching my channel. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's the video. I'm going to post the link in the description like I said. Thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with just a static image and me talking. I don't profess to have the greatest voice in the world, but I hope I was clear enough, and I do apologize for the coughing and the drinking of water in the middle of the video. It's just something I had to do because my throat was drying up.